please.
Kinsey,
Here.
Mossberg,
Here.
Turner,
Here.
Logston,
Here.
Parker.
Here. And we have a quorum, so we'll go on to the next item, number 3, approval of minutes of regular meeting held July 8th, 2019.
Chairman, I move we approve the minutes.
Second. Motion and second, call the roll.
Parker,
Yep.
I didn't hear who's called second.
Yes.
Kinsey, Mossberg,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Logston,
Yes. Okay, we'll go on to the next item, reports from staff. A, city council report.
Got some appointments to different boards coming up. Paul's term is one of them that's coming up. Paul and I just talked briefly, and he's willing to continue to serve, so that'll be a recommendation to city council next meeting. And then there's several other boards and committees that need to have some appointments or reappointments. Big issue right now still is on issue election to be tomorrow, and then that won't be a big issue anymore, I hope. Not yelled on anything I'm just neglecting to remember.
No, those were pretty much, that's pretty much been the focus here.
We're looking at some repairs to the professional building roof, and just some other things that come up, but nothing. I'm happy to answer any questions or try to if you guys have any.
Street progress?
Street progress is going good.
Yeah.
I think we've probably done more this summer than we've done in most.
Well, it would appear that we had. I mean, a lot of the other streets we've done have been a lot bigger than these streets we've been doing, and so they can be done a lot quicker. We have done Maple Street from 7th from 7th to 14th. We've re-asphalted that. Locust Street we're working on. We're down on the 200 block of Locust Street we're working on, and then we're doing right now College Boulevard down by the square. What would be the 500 and 600 block of that, I think. That's right. Those should be the next couple of weeks, getting those redone. Then we'll be back on Locust Street. We're working Locust Street down to College, or to 14th rather.
I've seen the crews in town that are doing the lift station on Skyline.
Yeah. And we're wrapping up the chlorination station out
At
in
the
the well
well
field.
Oh, what station?
Chlorination station.
Oh, chlorination. I thought you said coronation.
We're going to start holding events out there.
Program. I noticed that the agriculture lease went before the council for out here.
Well, it did, and we had just missed the board meeting when those opened. It went to the highest bidder. We did change farmers. Mr. Weebner is now going to be farming the property, but he was about $3,000 higher than the next closest bid.
Okay. Right, so I get that was the only difference then from the previous, other than we changed tenants and it was our bid, everything's still the same then?
Yep.
And was it a 3-year deal?
Well, it's a 2-year deal with a 1-year optional.
Okay.
The same as it's been the last
Okay.
3 or 4 times we've done it.
All right, cool.
Anything else?
Not unless there are any more questions.
If not, we'll go on to the next item B, manager's report.
Okay, I'll start off with the fuel report. Last month at the 100 low lead pump, moved 3,012.2 gallons is what I moved out there. 875 of that went over to a truck transfer. 214.9 was by a test for the pump out here for the 100 low lead pump. It was a test by double check out of Enid. So that 214.9 went back into the underground storage tank. So actually sold 1,922.3 gallons out at the pump last month for $8,265.89. Then off the truck, moved 356.2 for a total of 1,602.90. So our total 100 low lead sold last month was 2,278.5 gallons for a total dollar figure of $9,868.79. Then over to Jet A pump, moved 2,650.1 gallons out there. 2,150 of that went over to the truck transfer. Then had an additional 500.1 that was sold at the pump, straight off the pump. Went right into a truck that came out here. So that was $1,734. Then off the truck, last month, sold 935 gallons. Did have one gentleman in that got 180 gallons. That was, so he got a 10-cent off discount. So over that 935 gallons sold, the dollar figure on that was $3,161. So our total Jet A sold last month was $1,435.1 gallons at $4,861.34. Total fuel sales last month, $14,730.13. Then we had, I think it was a total of 12 quarts of oil sold at $147.06, and then the tax on that oil, on those oil sales, was $13.60. We had one transient rental for $15, or a total sales last month for $14,905.79. So, any questions on the fuel report? Did get a letter, I think everybody's got it in the packet. It's called an MOA from the FAA about our AWAS. I have been contacting the guy from L&P Enterprises even since when Tyson was here.
Are we skipping to item 5 now? They're on the agenda.
No, this was still part of mine.
Okay, we've got it, also got it that on,
Oh,
as item
okay.
5, discussion and action
Okay.
regarding annual ground inspection for the AWAS.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know it was on that agenda too. But anyway, I went ahead and called L&P, had them get in contact with the FAA. The guy from L&P swears up and down that he's gonna get out here in September or October to get our inspection back up to date. He needs to put a light on the tower out there. The FAA can't really fine us or anything for it, but it does need to be a lighted tower out there, and the light's been out ever since I came back. So he's supposed to do that, and then he's supposed to put a new antenna up here on top of the terminal, see if we can get a little better reception for the pilots that are coming in here. So, and then just do the general maintenance. We're like a year and a half behind, but with the government shutdown last year and the AWAS inspector from the FAA side, he retired, so everything just kind of been up in limbo. But L&P Enterprises are supposed to be out here sometime end of the summer, early fall to get that up and going. So that's what the MOA was about. And Joe Don asked me to bring it up at the board, and there was a copy of the letter I received from the FAA too on the AWAS, so. Got the sprinkler system up and running. Had one glitch at the initial startup, but I've got it scheduled where it's running Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday nights. It seemed to help the grass there around the terminal. The labels which we placed in the courtesy vehicles a few months ago seem to be helping. It seems like they're staying more full of fuel, kind of been keeping an eye on those. And then I have been working on updating the FAA record for our based aircraft at the airport. Seems to be on the increase. Right now we're showing 56 that are inventoried here at the airport, with 51 currently being validated. And I'm waiting on 3 that have been purchased, but the registration hasn't actually went through the FAA, so I didn't want to put those in, but there is an additional 3. So, in relation to that, right now, we're out of hangar space. I only have 1 spot left in the round top, and I'm trying to kind of keep that for transient aircraft, so. In reference to what Paul was saying about the farmer, I did meet with James Weidner, kind of drove him around, all around the airport, showed him all the outlines and everything, and he started working the ground out there, and he has tilled up some of the ground that hadn't been tilled in quite a while. So Jake and I gave the tetrahedron some good maintenance last month. We blew it, took the air compressor out there, blew it out, wiped all the lights out, changed all the light bulbs on it so it looks a lot better at night. It's probably more visible. We greased it also. Jake and I also replaced the right-hand skid shoe on our pull-behind mower, and then we've just been continuing to mow and spray as we need, along with all the fueling and keeping track of the fuel and everything. My last thing, we had 36 transient aircraft that signed a guest book during the month of July, so that's about all I have. So, and I guess when we get to item 5, we'll.
Okay. Anything else from the manager? If not, we'll go to item 5, discussion and action regarding the annual ground inspection for the AWAS for 2019. Greg's kind of went over that. Any additional discussion or action that we need to take there?
Is the reason we're behind because the people haven't come here to do the work they need to do?
That, and with the inspector retiring at the end of last year, the FAA side of the inspector, L&P Enterprises always has to have that FAA guy here with them when they do this routine maintenance. Well, he retired. Larry, that's L&P, he said he got in contact with them. They kind of gave him a gratis, gratuity period since the guy retired. Well, now the new guy is the one that called and said, hey, you're behind. And so I got him in touch, or got Larry in touch with the new FAA guy, and Larry swears up and down that he's going to get out here within the next couple of months. He's working a big project down in, I think, southern Texas, maybe even into Mexico, putting in a whole new AWAS down there on some airport. So he's trying to get all that done, and then he's got like 6 stations in Oklahoma.
Has he made contact with the FAA guy?
Yes, he did make contact. Larry did make contact and with the FAA.
Right. So they know we're not avoiding them. That
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So what is some additional cost to this this FAA update?
The only additional cost that I know of is L&P is on a contract. No matter who we get, we have to pay them a monthly fee.
Right.
So that's his cost. Anytime he comes out, like to put the new antenna up here that he says is going to get the pilots to be able to reach the AWAS frequency a little farther out. A lot of them are saying right now they can only get like 15 to 20 miles out, so he wants to put a new antenna up, fix the light. Anything that he does like that is extra.
Okay.
Like the
So it was maybe it was just the additional equipment costs we were talking about.
I think so, probably
Okay.
for that antenna and for the light
Yeah.
out there,
All right.
so.
All right.
What action are we taking, or are we taking action? Is this just a discussion?
Basically, the only thing I need is on the MOA, Joe Don and I talked about this. The FAA just needs a new signature basically on that memorandum of agreement from either somebody here on the airport board or the city. And then once we get that, then I just fax it back to him, so it's updated. It's just basically updating an FAA record, so.
Is this board's ruling final on that?
Yeah, it
Okay.
is, and I would say that either the two people that that would be authorized to sign this would be either Dale as the chairman or you as the mayor.
So the board so we would vote then to authorize the signing of the memorandum of understanding.
Yes.
I move that Dale Logston sign the memorandum of understanding regarding the AWAS system for 2019.
Second.
Okay, count the roll, please.
Parker,
Gosh, I could have really messed with you.
I just pulled it up.
Yes.
Kinsey,
Yes.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Logston,
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Okay, if nothing else on that, we can go to item 6, discussion and action on building safety.
Well, I think there's been quite a bit of discussion about building security here lately. We did change some locks. There was, that happened as a miscommunication between the locksmith and us, but that we went ahead and kept it that way. I think there's just some extra measures we should probably take because a lot of this, thinking mainly about the museum pieces that we have here, are not ours, are not the city's. And I would hate for something to happen to those where it could appear that we were not doing our due diligence. We have talked about several things. Greg and I have talked about the issues with security, maybe about locking the office door and putting a window up here between his desk and the lobby that would serve two purposes. One, when the lobby's got guests in it, and Greg's trying to conduct business over the phone, it would alleviate some of that noise that he gets. It would allow us to secure our equipment in the office area, but allow access through other means to the restrooms and the lobby area after hours. But because we are, if our intention is to continue to allow patrons in after hours, I think we should probably look at, my opinion would be we should look at maybe getting some sort of video security system out here to record the happenings. We all hope that nobody will break in or steal anything or do anything else, but today's day and age is just such that you never can tell. And I would just like for us to be prepared if something like that should ever happen.
I'd like to see, do that to the office, put in a window and, make it where it can be secured, to have a carpenter come in and do whatever it takes.
Uh-huh.
And then, I'd like to see the box for pilots after hours, like it used to be out here. I think that ought to be done. If you've been in an airplane for 4 hours particularly if you're a lady,
Oh.
and you need to use the room.
I,
By the time you call somebody,
I understand perfectly why we do it. I mean, that's not an issue. I understand perfectly why we do it. It's just that I think, you know, because the only part that bothers me about that is none of this stuff out here belongs to us. And I just hate for the wrong person to try to take advantage of that.
I'd be willing to sign a waiver of responsibility on everything that I have out there. And I would think, really, in my opinion, most things that people steal, they can pawn. They're not gonna steal a computer, you can't get anything for a computer. Most of the stuff out there, model airplanes or a book or a picture, there's no monetary value to a thief. And I've been out here, not near as long as these two gentlemen, but we have not had a problem at all.
And I mean, I'm not saying that we would ever have a problem with local people. It's just the transients that, you know, transient people that we don't know, that may fly in the middle of the night. Did you not tell me, Greg, that there was already been some issues with some of the museum pieces?
Accusations.
Accusations.
Hearsay, and that's all I know. So, accusations and hearsay.
Right.
I did get a call from a pilot that, you know, one pilot that said that several pilots were upset about not being able to get in on the weekend. And I don't, I'm kind of like Terry to some extent. If it's,
You can fly to any little airport that they've got a terminal building, you can get in. You know, you can go over to Moore to land, and you can get into the office.
well, that's, I'm not opposed to that.
The restrooms or whatever.
No, I'm not opposed to that.
But yeah, I do agree, you know, we've got some responsibility to the people that have the articles out here. Maybe if we talk to them and we can get them to agree to a waiver that we're not held liable and put in a security camera system.
That'd be a good idea.
So,
Camera.
And
I'd like,
Yeah.
like I said,
close
I'd
the-
like to see a programmable lock on a door out here. I just think that's the easiest way. You can come in, go out, it'll lock behind you.
Well, but we looked into that, and that's, I think Bruce Pappin was the one that got us this box, and there wasn't programmable locks that were compatible with our doors.
Yeah.
Is the reason I.
That's true.
Yeah, I found that out, because these doors lock at the top and the bottom. It's gotta be a push bar that goes in the side, but I just feel that would be I think that would be,
so,
allow the terminal to be open, you could keep the office closed off, they could come in, punch in the code, the Unicom frequency, come in, do their business, and it's gonna lock right behind them when they go out. Until business hours, and then you can unlock it.
So, the call that you received, was it because they couldn't come in and sit and drink coffee?
Yeah.
Or they couldn't use the bathroom?
well, they couldn't get in and drink coffee. But I was told there were other people upset about not being able to get in and use the bathroom or, you know, but I only got the one call, and he specifically said he couldn't get in and drink coffee.
So.
I don't know, I
So,
mean,
I guess, you know, what part of the building do you want open for after hours? What do you want accessible?
I would,
Anything except the office, or is there other areas too?
I would wanna hear your guys' opinions.
I think everything should be. Brandon comes in here for students. I mean, Brandon Farney's the instructor here. They do a lot of classroom in here. He does a lot of evening flying, stuff like that. I mean, if he's got a program on the lock over here, he can come in, have his,
And what I like
they can
about,
go to the flight planning room, they can go to the bathroom, everything.
what I like about the programmable locks is you can actually track who's coming and going from the building. And you know what time they came in and left. That way, if you do have to go back and look at something on the camera, you don't spend all day searching through video footage. You know times when people were in the building, and you can go back and search things that way, if anything happened. You know, cameras and locks keep honest people honest, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're not gonna stop a thief,
You're not gonna stop it, but you might figure out who it was.
yeah.
And I know nobody here on the airport, that's not what I'm worried about, I mean, concerned about.
I do worry about, access to our computer systems and whatnot, because we tie up a lot of money in our computers and things, and so, I wouldn't be opposed to spending the money and having the office over here restricted.
Or what about a lockable cabinet with computer sets in? Would that be a more feasible,
I don't
cheaper
It may be.
option than enclosing the whole office?
It would be, well, I don't know what one of those I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, I'm least restricted possible is fine with me.
Yeah, we're kinda used to the counter being open there and things if we close that in or put a glass wall in there, it would kind of make it less.
It'd probably mess with your,
But I can see the point, it's hard to do business. if
It
it's
is
open
hard
and
to
there's
do
a lot of
business.
people.
No offense, I've went out before and said, guys, I love you, but dang, I can't hear nothing. I'm old and deaf anyway, and when I'm on a three-way conference call,
If
I'm
you
just
put a
throwing
glass on
options.
this side,
yeah, that's what I was
that's all
thinking.
you need. right?
Yeah, and I'd say leave the counter open. I say put that glass far enough back, like just right behind, where you still got the counter accessible. But,
Yeah, at least.
and it doesn't have to go up all the way. I
Well,
mean,
you could do something like with hospitals and doctor's offices too,
Right.
where it slides or it raises
Yeah,
up.
something.
I mean, where you can partition it off if you need to make phone calls. I mean,
right.
there's options there.
the one thing that we didn't think about at the church when we took the doors out at the back of the sanctuary is it kind of messed with our HVAC. It threw things out of whack a little bit. And so it may be better to leave it where it is open at the top or something or in places so that.
Right, yeah, I'm not talking about, solid glass.
So,
or
are we,
I mean, if you had like a 3-foot thing there that slid apart, he could slide apart, you would still have that openness,
right,
but he could partition it off if he needed to sit down and or receive a phone call, or need to make phone calls or do some business.
Is there some?
except when it's closed, it wouldn't. If it was closed at night, that wouldn't. I don't know if it would mess with this system or not. I know that.
Well, but if it only goes up 3 feet, you still got 2 or 3 feet above it.
Oh,
for the air to
yeah,
circulate.
if you're open at the top, yeah.
Is there somebody around town that does that type of work that we could get?
Oh,
Maybe
you could
some
call
ideas.
any
I
of
called the contractor and it's supposed to get in touch with me in a couple of days, he's from Portland.
Okay, and get some ideas of what
I'd
expense
call-
we're looking at.
I had the guy from Star come out and look, the guy that does the windows and stuff, and he said it's a little bit out of his league, because you just can't put it, the way the counter comes out, you just can't. He said it's gonna take a little modification to do it.
I'd go grab the business cards off the counter down at Stars and have them come out and tell us what they charge us and probably,
There's ones that we use down at City Hall,
yeah,
Menards
Menards and A to Z and.
some of those guys, and just get some quotes. We wanted to bring it up to y'all first, and
Right.
before we spend a lot of time on it.
But I mean, to me personally, a partial wall up, something that's clear that you can open a 3-foot opening, like
Right.
you can in a doctor. Because with HIPAA laws, they gotta be able to close it to talk about
Right,
patients and whatnot. But still be open at the top where you can have your air circulation.
right, yeah.
And make it difficult. I mean, if somebody's crawling over that to get in, they're wanting to get in back.
Right, that's back to the
Yeah.
thief thing,
They've
And
probably thrown the glass.
I have no problem with the surveillance cameras. I think that's effective because,
You said you have a problem with it?
No, I have no problem.
Oh,
with it.
okay.
I have no problem with the surveillance cameras. And so, do we have any concerns? I mean, so we take care of that. If there's no one in the building, or we lock that off, we have the cameras. Do we have any other concerns about the building? Do we have any concerns about the pilot computer or anything like that? If we have
I don't
surveillance
think
cameras and
anybody,
stuff like
I
that.
don't think anybody's gonna come in there. I mean, really, the thing I wanna prevent is somebody having the ability to unlock it and leave it unlocked. That's why I feel that a programmable lock on a door, it's gonna lock, Brandon can come in here, or whoever can go in there and do their flight planning. When they go out, we know it's locked behind them until business the next day, and then you can unlock and leave it.
So this restricts anybody, any transit that's gonna fly in late to be able to access?
No, if you have a programmable lock with a Unicom frequency, they can come in.
How do we get them the lock code?
The Unicom frequency is standard, any pilot knows what it is.
It was the same that was on our lockbox until we had the accidental lock change, and so.
That makes it where somebody coming through from the sand dunes getting the gas for the dune buggy can't get in the building, but when pilot lands, he automatically knows how to get in.
Okay.
I just feel that would be the easiest thing to do and the most secure. It can, like I said, it will lock when you go out. If you have a programmable lock to get in, it's gonna lock when you go out.
We'll need to get a quote for a new door though, if we're gonna put
Yes,
the lock on the door.
that's why I said, that's the only way, because the guy said that with the top and bottom latches, that you can't really put a programmable lock on
And we only need to do it on that door.
those, on that one door.
Yeah, I don't think we need.
And the other thing I felt is, you know, I told him, we've got double doors. If we'd ever have to move a display cabinet or anything, we've got a set of double doors. I think over here you could get by with a single door and a side light. That's my opinion. Do we really need another set of double doors here? Because isn't that mainly for moving? You know?
And there was a thought of maybe moving in a larger, you know, an airplane, you know, you could roll a fuselage in there, put the wings on it.
Well, they had a Link trainer here one time.
Yeah,
But could they still do that from the south door?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
And leave the double doors there.
Well,
I think we should get quotes on
Yeah.
doing that, video surveillance and programmable locks.
And all it takes is one programmable lock. But if you are gonna have to change the door over there. But
Well, I think we should get busy investigating that.
Yeah.
I know there's some businesses.
And we don't need a motion for that.
Radio Shack.
No,
not now.
not for this, because we're not.
Like Radio Shack, they've done some security cameras, so that'd be one to call.
There's, Radio Shack, Bank Central, SPI, I think
Yeah,
Pioneer does some of that stuff too. You
yeah,
know.
we do, I know the
Quite a
city
few
does
of them.
business with both
I've heard it's
SBI
not that
and
difficult
Bank
anymore
Central
that you
on
can't order
video
them off Amazon and
security.
do it yourself, because everything's wireless anymore, or a lot of the things. So,
Yeah, we can buy them local, best we can.
right.
And something that doesn't have a monthly or yearly contract fee,
Right.
you know, keep the costs down.
Okay.
Okay? We're through with that item. We'll go on to next, remarks and inquiries by airport commission members.
The grass runway, you landed on the other day and you thought it's all right?
Yeah, it smelled good to me.
Let's go ahead and open it up and put the markers on it.
Okay, I did call a guy, you don't think we need to get it rolled? I called the guy over in
I like-
Cherokee today, or packed, not maybe.
It seemed nice to me.
Using your 140.
Yeah. I mean, I
The
wouldn't,
140, if it's nice in the 140,
I wouldn't be afraid to.
I
do
called
that.
Litzenberger again, they told me they were gonna call me, so I got in touch with another guy.
Good.
If we needed to roll it, or Biber packet is what it is.
It's,
He said he'd come and look at it.
it seemed nice and smooth to me. I wouldn't be afraid to take a 172 or 182 or something like that out there on it.
I was gonna bring that too, because I had a couple guys come down to stop at my building down there, wanting to know exactly where it was at, and if they could land on it, and if they could come over here on Saturdays.
Then I'll have to go with the OAC and find out how to mark it and everything, and what to do, I guess, to actually get it open. But I mean, I'm sure Jennifer at the OAC could tell me that.
Even the east end, you know, where they strip it the other direction, I was surprised it was just super smooth when I taxied it.
It shouldn't be a problem. It'll probably be able to do it pretty
You
quick.
mean for like marking the edges and stuff?
Cause the old,
Yeah, we've got a bunch of red and blue kinda like the reflectors out here.
That's in the,
in the
Well, I thought they had to be.
no, the markings, there's a advisory circular on that. There's a-
Yeah,
So the information's already there. I think you need to get up on advisory circular.
How to mark it, how far out the edges gotta be marked and stuff, cause I'm sure they
Yeah.
don't go clear out on the
Yeah.
300-foot mark.
Because I've read, when we started this, I read all that. The information's already printed out, so it's already there available for you.
the west end is, or was already marked where the runway is and where the safety area was. I know the safety area is still marked on the east end. I don't know if but
Biggest thing is get it listed, so, because they say it doesn't show up on our information,
Yeah.
getting it out on that, so it's published.
Okay, I just knew it was up, and like I said, I contacted Litzenberg.
I think all the rains took care of that for you.
yes,
Maybe, so.
The insurance email that you sent out, what was the final result of that? Where you asked me about the, I think it was the liability limits out here?
A couple months ago.
We were able to increase our limits to the new amount at relatively no additional cost.
Okay, so we're at the higher limits now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
anything else from the board members or commission members? If not, we'll go to item 8, remarks and inquiries by citizens. And we have nothing, so we'll adjourn.